Mm. Yeah. This is sad. This is real sad. Cause somebody please tell me what the Florida fuck is wrong with Kevin Gates. Mm, 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 mm. Let me get this. It don't take all of that. Now, if you don't know what that is, if you don't know what that is, that's called spit. Yeah. Yeah. Nasty shit. I've been following Kevin Gates for a long time. I mean, a very long time. And one of his, let me think. Actually, the very first song that I heard from Kevin Gates um, was Not the Only One. I believe that's the title of it. I can't be the one you love. That song. I think it's entitled Not the Only One. I think that's what it's entitled. All I remember is um, the, I guess, ad lib part where I can't be the one you love, or whatever you want to call it, in the verse, in the chorus. I don't know. Anyways, it's not the point. The point is, I had been following Kevin Gates for a long time, a very long time. It's been a few years. Um, the Kevin Gates that we are seeing now is not the old Kevin Gates anymore. If you follow Kevin Gates, like I follow Kevin Gates, you will see that the Kevin Gates that we see now is not the Kevin Gates that we saw when he first came out. Not at all. Not at all. The Kevin Gates that we saw when he first came out was someone that was humble, someone who rapped about his life and the things that he's been through, all that stuff. This is what. And that's what drew me to Kevin Gates was because he was always talking about his life, you know, um, how he came, how he got it out the mud and whatever. He talked about his poor upbringing as far as clothes and food goes, monetary things. That's what drew me to Kevin Gates. But slowly but surely, I started seeing Kevin Gates change, and it was right after. And this is no bullshit. It was right after he went to jail, prison. No, jail, excuse me. It was right after. It's like when he came out of his incarceration. And by the way, it was a fucked up thing that they sent him there anyways, unless it was something else behind it, because I don't see how, and I'm just going to be real, I don't see how someone can touch you, okay? Someone can touch you inappropriately after you have asked them not to touch you inappropriately, and they decide that they want to do it again, and you kick the shit out of them. Because in my book, At the very least, misdemeanor assault on the female part. Excuse me, misdemeanor sexual assault. If you've been following Kevin Gates, then you know, um, you've seen the video and you know that it was not his fault that he kicked the shit out of that bitch. And I mean, I would do the same thing. I would probably try to knock your damn teeth out your head. Because if I tell you don't touch me, don't touch me. Period. I'm not the type of dude to run around here looking for women, to feel all over my ball. Yeah, that's not me. You know. So what they did to Kevin Gates was fucked up in itself. Okay. What they did to Kevin Gates was fucked up in itself. They shouldn't have did that. Again, not unless it was something else involving Kevin Gates, some type of ritual. Because right after Kevin Gates got out of his incarceration, he changed. I mean, he changed. Not for the good, for the worse. Now, I know you say you hating on Kevin Gates. No, the hell I'm not. First of all, I'm not a rapper. I don't want to rap. I wrote one rap song, okay, and it was just talking about the fuck nigga that called himself my dad. That's all it was about, and my upbringing. So it's not that I'm hating on Kevin Gates at all because I don't give a shit who he is. Period. But to do that, okay, to spit in a young lady's mouth, okay, to spit in a young lady's mouth is beyond gross. It's beyond uh nasty. It's just filthy. It's demonic. I seen that one time, and I'm quite sure, unless I don't think they took it down, where Madonna did something similar to Drake, and he seemed like he was disgusted by it. Okay, I heard that Drake said that she smelled like old dry bones in the valley. I heard that Drake said that she smelled like Geritol. She smelled like a burnt banana peel. She smelled like burnt eggs. And the burnt banana peel and burnt eggs, I get. That's for me. I don't like Madonna anyways, but we're not on Madonna. She's the queen of hell anyways. I've only seen that happen on stage one time, and that was with Madonna and Drake. That is a ritual. And it is a very demonic ritual. You gotta take my word for it. I don't give a shit. This is why the Lord tells you, do not, or tells us, do not be going out sleeping with all type of people, men or women. Don't do that because you think that you're only sleeping with that person when you're actually sleeping with the demons that possess that person. And so what you have done is you have given gateway. Say it again. You have given gateway to demonic spirits to enter into your life, your body, your soul. That's what you've done. And I believe that that's what Kevin Gates is doing. Okay. Here's my problem with Kevin Gates. Here's my problem. And I know a lot of Muslims. I know a lot of Muslims. Okay. Here's my problem with Kevin Gates. You claim to be a Muslim. This is what you claim to do. And I hope a Muslim watched this because I need some clarification. I really do. I need some clarification. Kevin Gates claimed to be a Muslim. Okay, he claimed to be, uh, you know, assalamu alaikum. You know, wake up salam. I don't know how they pronounce that. Wake up salam. You claim to be this Muslim, this purified person. This is what you claim to be, Kevin Gates. You claim to be, you most of your songs is about Allah. Uh, you didn't think this day would never come? Uh, from Allah we came. We should return back to Allah. He says it. He makes reference to Allah. I don't get that. Because I always thought that Muslims, whether it be the NOI or the FOI, I always thought that Muslims held a candle to what can I put? They held a candle to being upright, not doing stupid shit like that, being pure. That's what I thought. If Malcolm X was living today, I wonder what Malcolm X would say about the shenanigans that Kevin Gates is doing. I don't think Malcolm X would like it. I don't think he would. I don't think Malcolm X would like to see Kevin Gates call a, excuse me, y'all, but call a nasty whore up on stage and then spit spit, and I don't mean to her, I mean he and just let it slide down. Like, y'all forgive me. Like, that's some cum that he didn't want to swallow and things. It's weird to me. And it's sickening at the same time, the ritual that these people are doing right there in front of you. But you know what makes me angry? I'm going to tell you what makes me angry. It's not that that fool is doing that. It's not that. That's not it at all. I mean, I'm upset. I'm shocked. But what makes me angry, what makes my Agent Orange act up is kids come to these concerts. Unfortunately, we have parents who will let their children go to a Kevin Gates concert. And I'm not talking about 16, 17, 18-year-olds. I'm talking about, and I've seen this, I'm talking about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds going to these type of concerts and watching these demons do what they do. This is the type of world that we live in, where everything is all right with that parent. That's sick, because I would never take my child to a concert where I know that that individual is subject to do any to everything on stage. Period. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm reminded of I believe her name was Jasmine Sullivan, I want to say. And if I'm wrong, somebody need to correct me, whoever sees this. But there is something floating around on YouTube, and don't you believe it on YouTube? I seen it for myself. Okay. Her fat ass was singing and then grabbed the mic like it was a ding dong and started performing fellatio on the mic. I wished 1,000 times that that mic was connected to something and it short circuited. And instead of her being the nasty bitch that she is, she would have had a shocking experience. She wouldn't have been sucking on no more ding dongs because the bottom half of her jaw would have been gone. Because that's sick. I mean, that is real fucking sick. I'm an artist myself, okay? I might not be on their level, but I'm still an artist. I still sing, I still write. That's an artist. You don't have to be a professional to be an artist. Don't have to do that. That is, and as an artist, that is beyond sick. That shit is gross as fuck. That is just gross. Real talk. I don't know if Kevin Gates owns up. If he, I don't know. I don't know. But what I do know is if Kevin Gates don't stop and repent of his sins and turn to Jesus Christ as his Lord and personal Savior, not Allah, but to Jesus Christ as his Lord and personal Savior. And I'm not trying to disrespect nobody's faith, nobody's religion, if you will. I'm not trying to do that. But it's I don't push Jesus off on nobody, but he's the one that I serve. He's the one that I follow. If Kevin Gates don't do that, hell is a place where he will lift up his eyes into eternal damnation. Because doing sick shit like this, that's just uncalled for. It don't take all that on stage. It don't take all that on stage. Not at all. In my opinion, if you got to do all that to do a concert, then that means that basically you garbage. And maybe you trying to stay alive, but in my opinion, Kevin Gates really just came out hitting hard. Like I said, most of his songs I like. But I don't understand. And maybe I shouldn't be surprised at Kevin Gates because there is a song that he got, and I had to listen to it over and over again. There's a song that he got out where he says in the song that he made this girl, I guess he was dating or whatever, he made her give fellatio to his dog. And when I first heard that, I was thinking he was talking about his homeboy. Because even in the song, he was like, for real, I did that. At the end of the song, he was like, yeah, for real, I did that. It's a long walk back to Decatur or whatever while in Georgia. He said that he told his girl or whoever he was talking to, that he made her give fellatio to a four-legged beast. And Muslims, y'all put up with this? Y'all put up with this mess? This fool is supposed to be a Muslim. A Muslim. Malcolm X stood for purity. He stood for uprightness. That's what he stood for. You would have never caught Malcolm X doing that. You would have never caught Malcolm X doing that. You would have never caught Dr. King doing that. In my opinion, Kevin Gates has sold his soul. In my opinion, because like I said in the beginning of this, and I'm finna end it. Like I said in the beginning of this, the Kevin Gates that we saw, if you follow Kevin Gates, the Kevin Gates that we saw is not the Kevin Gates that we see now. It's not. It's like two different people now. Like I said, I'm an artist, and I told my wife a while back, I said, baby, you will know when a person has sold their soul to Satan. Got a piece of hair in my eye, really. You will know when a person has sold their soul to Satan because they no longer act the same, they no longer dress the same. Everything for them is dark. Rihanna, dark. Beyonce, dark. Lady Gaga, dark. It's so many. Rick Ross, dark. Who else? You have so many who start saying like, wow, yeah. And then they go straight to the dark side. They got to do some type of ritual to, period. And it don't take all that. It don't take all that. I have got on stage. Not very many stages, but I've been on stage and I've never did something like that. Never did something like that. That is sick. That is sick because you are spitting in this whore's mouth. I said it. You are spitting in this whore's mouth. Your spit contains millions of DNA strands. That's why when you are suspected of a murder or rape or whatever, they swab your mouth, they swab your jaws. Because that holds millions of DNA strands. Saliva is actually part of your blood. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what you did, and you know what's sick? Because these whores will sit there and not care if this Jaganapes has got a disease from here to kingdom come. They don't care. They don't care. I'm a groupie hoe. Don't you know? Yeah, you are. For you to sit there and do that, you ain't nothing but a hoe. And it don't look like that was your first rodeo either. Not at all. Giddy up horses. Period. It's sick. It's sick as sick can be. Like I said, we got artists now. What happened to the Delphonics? What happened to Blue Magic? What happened to the Shylights? What happened to the Ink Spots? What happened to Major Harris? What happened to the Temptations? What happened to the Spinners? What happened to Friends of Destination? What happened to Phyllis Hyman? What happened? We no longer want them. Because that's old news right there. That's ugh. But they was not doing any of. What happened to Marvin Gaye? What happened to Marvin Gaye? See, to this world, oh, that's lame. No, it's not. Luther Vandross. No, that's not lame. To want to go to a good and clean concert. Y'all mark my words. Mark my words. Mark my words. Just as sure as I'm kneeling on this bed, Mark my words. It's going to get worse and worse than that. Mark my words. Mark my words. They already testing the waters now. Juanita Bynum, she brought a fucking bed on stage and got in the bed with another woman. It don't take all that to preach the word of God. You ain't no damn preacher anyways, but you bring a bed on stage just to get in the bed with another woman. Talking about, oh, this sinful right there. Oh, y'all, oh, yeah. Shut up, bitch. Shut up. Shut up, bitch. Because you've been swinging both ways since Yolanda Adams, too. Yolanda Adams said, hey, it ain't my job to tell people when they're going wrong. That's God's job. Did not Jesus say that he set you as a watchman? Did not Jesus say that? Yes, he said that. I believe he did. But because you can get a couple of awards and accolades and stuff, you want to tell people that it's not your place to tell people when you're going wrong. So what the fuck do you sing for? What are you singing for? What are you singing gospel for? If you're not trying to convey a message of we all need Jesus. And boy, don't we all need him. Period. But y'all mark my words. Remember I said it. It's going to get worse and worse than that. Like I said, they already testing the waters. If you look at WWF, you might as well say that's soft porn. You might as well say that. They already testing the waters with the what that was the Grammys. Satanic rituals was everywhere that night. Satanic rituals was everywhere that night. Period. So they already doing it. They already testing the waters. It should sicken you. It should make you feel just disgusted because there will be children at these concerts. You know, the Bible says that it's going to come the time of Sodom and Gomorrah. But you would have rather have wanted to live back in that time than this time because man is going to become more and more evil. Mm-hmm. Man is going to become more and more evil. See, Jesus destroyed, and I know, I know that I've said this before, but Jesus destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah not because of homosexuality alone. These lying preachers would love for you to believe that because they love causing discord. And they be the main one around the corner talking to a Falona. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But Jesus did not destroy Sodom and Gomorrah alone just because of homosexuality. He did not do that. Jesus destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah because sick shit like that. Because sick shit like this was going on. Sick shit like that was going on. Sacrificing children. Sacrificing children. Okay? Sacrificing children. Raping kids. Murder. Everything was going on in Sodom and Gomorrah. Everything was going on in Sodom and Gomorrah. Jesus said every vile thing was going on in Sodom and Gomorrah. Those days are coming back. Period. Jesus said that they would. But they're going to do it on a more damnable scale now. See, back then, Sodom and Gomorrah, they didn't have cameras and recording devices so that they could do this mess all over the world. Okay. But now they do. And I'm telling you that it's coming back. I'm telling you that this thing is going to get nastier and nastier and nastier. I promise you that. I promise you. It's going to get that way. Because believers of Christ will not take a stand anymore. So many worldly, shall I say, secular singers talked about that at the Grammys when they did that whole demonic crap. Said that there were gospel artists in the audience clapping. Look it up. There were well-known gospel artists clapping. Kirk Franklin was one of them. Yeah. Yeah. But there were many gospel artists that was out there. Oh, yeah. What's so good about that? What's so good about it? There's nothing good. Well, there should be nothing good to the believer when they see mess like that. This nastiness. It's gonna get worse, y'all. Mark my words. It's gonna get worse. I'm gonna tell you something. It's gonna get down to the time where they're gonna be doing live sacrifices right on stage and call it a show. Mm-hmm. Mark my words. I probably would not be here to see it. More than likely, I probably won't on this earth. But mark my word, because if Jesus said that it's going to be worse than the time of Sodom and Gomorrah before the Son of Man comes again, I'm telling you what they're going to do. They're going to have live murders. I'm telling you, you got to believe it. Watch. They're going to have live ritual killings on stage. And it's going to fall under the guise of entertainment. That's all it is. And they're going to test the waters. I'm telling you what I know. They're going to test the waters by sacrificing animals. You know, goats, sheep, chickens, pigs, that sort of stuff. Oh, they're going to test the waters on you to see, oh, okay, well, they ain't too grossed out. And they're going to start doing live killings on stage. Mark my words. They're going to bring people out on stage to be having sex right on stage in front of your children. Mm-hmm. That's what Satan wants. That's what the powers that want to be wants, anyways. They want this world to be as vulgar as they can get it. And that's sick. So y'all mark my words. It's going to come down to that. I mean, just look. Back in the day, not even TV would have put that up. Back in the day, there are certain networks that would have said, you will not be on my TV show, or you will not come back to this hometown or grace that stage ever again. You are totally fucking nasty. There used to be a time that television cared about what your children saw. There used to be a time. Oh, if that's a lie, go back and look at some of your old 1950, 1960, somewhat of 1970, somewhat of 90. Well, I'll have to stop at 70. They wasn't doing all that. Not on your TV. There was a such thing as called censorship back in those days. And you could leave your TV on and go to bed. Leave your kids up watching television. Go to bed because you know that they are not going to show anything that is derogatory to your children. Period. Now, you can't even, let me tell you something. Whenever my son, and I can't stand it. I can't stand cartoons. Can't stand them. They stupid to me. But whenever my son is around me, and if he falls asleep, I have to, before I go to sleep, I have to put my TV on cartoons. And we got this boomerang thing. And I have to put it on something like the Flintstones, repeatedly plays or whatever, because you can't even go to sleep and feel safe that the garbage that they are projecting now, that it, okay, but they ain't gonna do that. I tell you something else, how they testing the waters. And it's a commercial. And at the end of the commercial, it says husband hiding. In the same commercial, one of those commercials, I think they advertise for some type of medicine or whatever. In this commercial, there is a man, a woman, and a child. Now I know that child is not, and even if she is, that's just fucking nasty. But in this commercial, I'm telling y'all, they testing the waters. You didn't see that. You did not see what I'm about to tell you. In this commercial, okay, a man, I don't want to say the color, whatever, because that can be anybody. I mean, you see the color of the person, but I'm not going to say his color. It's not important. What's important is, in this commercial, the man and the wife was getting ready to go out. I guess they was at a hotel or whatever. And they was getting ready to go out to the pool. The daughter was nowhere to be seen just yet in this commercial. The daughter finally shows up to her dad's door. And the little girl looks and say, "Dad." And the dad looks down and looks at his TV wife and say, "What?" What did the little girl say? She saw Dad in some red underwear. And I don't mean boxers. I mean tidy reddies. You know how to say tidy whities? But these were tidy reddies. I don't give flip fuck if they was costume drawers. That's not the point. The point is, this world is so fucking sick. Period. And when the dude in the commercial say, "What?" and he's shaking himself, "What?" And then damn near at the end of the fucking commercial, it goes to where they was headed to, which was the pool. The mama sitting on, like, this the mama and this the daddy. The little girl came and sat down by this some bitch where his crotch was. Okay? Him in red underwear. Why she didn't go sit by her mama? Her TV mom. Why she didn't go sit by her mama? This is not making no sense. Why did y'all put in the commercial that, okay, well, you gonna go sit by him? That's no fucking coincidence. Commercials are thought out. unbeknownst to the untrained mind, they are putting pedophilia. They are turning you into a fucking pedophile. That's what they're doing. In a stupid fucking medicated commercial, medicine commercial, whatever. They turning your ass into a fucking pedophile. And nobody said nothing. I think so. Zyrtec or Zentec, I can't remember what it was. But nobody said nothing. Nobody. She just sat right down there by her daddy's crotch. Her TV daddy's crotch. His shirt open. My God. They tried that with Bernie Mac. I watched one of his backstage thing when they were taking photos and stuff, doing a photo shoot. And these fools tried to make the child, one of the children, sit on Bernie Mac's lap. Mm-hmm. It was the little boy. They tried to make Bernie Mac accept the fact that the little boy was going to sit in his lap. Bernie Mac said no. No. And they was like, but we got, Bernie Mac said, I said no. He said he could sit right there beside me. He ain't got to sit on my lap. And you hear somebody in the background saying, well, he said no, so just let it go. What were they trying to do? Thank God Bernie Mac had common sense. All that room over there, you want this little boy to sit on his lap. What kind of bullshit is that? Sad. Steady trying to promote. Turning you into a goddamn pedophile. Yeah. Sad. I got one more thing to say, because I'm off of that. I got one more thing to say. Don't let, and I keep saying this to the women. Don't let a man tell you that you cannot bring the word of the Lord. And I'll go into more depths of what I'm saying, because something was placed in my spirit. But I will go into further depths into what I'm saying at a later date. But I can tell you this. Satan is using every man's mouth that tell you you cannot preach, that you cannot bring the word. Satan is doing this. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Satan knows that that woman is stronger than that man. Satan knows the power that a woman holds. Period. When that man feels down, when that man is broken, when that man is this and that man seems like he can't go on another day, he draws strength from his wife. And Satan don't like that. So he's trying to dumb down women to let them know you ain't got no place in this world. Satan is using every man's mouth that tell you you can't preach to a female. You can't preach. That's a lie. Like I said, I'll go into further depths about that at a later date. I'm just letting you know that that's Satan. That's the devil. Period. Because he knows y'all role. Satan know your role, woman, better than what you know your own role. Mm-hmm. And if he can take that man's backbone from him, period. I hope that somebody got something out of this. My name is Maurice Mungeon. That's my son. My name is Maurice Mungeon. This has been one man's truth and maybe a minute of my own opinion. I'm out.